Everest is one of the most iconic peaks on our planet. Research into its glaciers is uncovering an alarming reality, one that could cause huge change for both the wildlife and the people that have called this place home for generations.
The mountain itself is not the most ideal place to live in, and it can be very inhospitable and very extreme at sometimes. But despite all of that, the local mountain communities are not only surviving but thriving in these altitudes, and they've been doing that for many hundreds of years.
But climate change means the frozen world these communities have always known is at risk of disappearing. Tenzing is from the Sherpa ethnic group and a glaciologist whose work is providing valuable insights into the changes happening in this iconic frozen landscape.
The Hindu Kush Himalayan region constitutes one of the largest concentration of snow and ice outside the two poles. Nowhere in the world would you find so much of ice and so much of snow concentrated in this one small region. It is very essential to keep the frozen parts of our world, that is the glaciers, healthy, because they are the water towers of the world. They feed more than 1 billion people downstream. Many people depend on the meltwater from these glaciers. I'm concerned about the impacts of climate change on the glaciers. The Khumbu Glacier is the highest glacier in the world. It originates from Mount Everest itself. So learning what happens in this glacier is very important and very iconic for the whole world.
Tenzing has been part of two valuable expeditions to the Khumbu Glacier located near Everest Base Camp. In a world first, the team drilled 150 meters deep into the ice, and they found something alarming.
The internal temperature of the ice was 2 degrees warmer than that of the mean annual air temperature. Once the temperature crosses 0 degrees Celsius is when the ice starts to melt.
A network of over 50,000 glaciers has been formed here over thousands of years, created by the snow and ice that blends. The natural melting of glaciers is a crucial source of fresh water for both wildlife and local communities. But as climate change increases the rate of melting, the communities here are living with an increased threat of catastrophic natural disasters.
Once the glacier starts to melt, we see increased discharge in the rivers, increased water flow. We might have floods in the downstream. This meltwater could then accumulate to form glacial lakes. These glacial lakes could then outburst to form glacial lake outburst floods. We recently had glacial lake outburst floods here in Nepal, in India, and they have caused devastating damages. With the changing climate, we will have these kind of extreme events more and more. This is not only the case for local communities, but this is happening all over the world. If you take a look at the heat waves in Northern Europe, the wildfires all over Australia, the heat waves in Pakistan, the recent floods in Pakistan, and the frequency of these extreme events will keep on rising, and that is the dangers of climate change that we are seeing now. The locals are very worried about their future.
These flooding events devastate communities by killing livestock, destroying infrastructure and homes. A scary reality for the 1.9 billion people living in the Hindu Kush Himalayan region. And these changes to the landscape also threaten the identity and culture of the local Sherpa communities.
My grandfather was part of the first expedition to Mount Everest along with Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay Sherpa. He is currently the eldest member of our village, so he embodies the history of the village and history of mountaineering in Nepal. He worries that with the changing climate, with modernization going on, that we might lose our roots. The Sherpa people might lose our culture. The Sherpa people might lose our way of life. The only solution at the moment we have is either relocation or adaptation. Relocation is something nobody wants to hear. Even I don't want to hear. I want to help by bridging the gap that we currently have between the local community and the scientists. We definitely can come together for climate change. We are all in this together, and it's either now or never.